What is up, everybody? Boostown GP here, coming at you, and today we got the shitbox in her former glory as a G-body once again. This is a pretty special occasion. This is the car that started this channel, 1986 Pontiac Grand Prix. It's seen better, but I believe it has been redeemed fairly well for what I have. So obviously it started life as an 86 Pontiac, but it doesn't have the original nose. That got blown off way back when. So it's got 81 Malibu bumper. The front splitter is a IROC Camaro. The grill pieces are 70 GTO, and the headlight buckets are just some fucking 13 or 14 inch dog dish hubcaps with some HIDs glued in place. It does have marker lights and all that shit, but they're just dangling out the side. So originally when I had this car, it was the silver with the gray fade. And what else I have? High output 305, 200R, blah blah blah, 92,000 original miles. I drove it around like that in the yard here, which wasn't the smartest idea, but whatever. You're a kid, who gives a fuck? Beat the shit out of everything in sight, because that's the way. So, drove it around for a while, broke the front end off, decided that was kind of it for the Grand Prix, quote unquote, so just started beating the living shit out of it until we got to this point. I ended up taking the body off the chassis and cutting the frame rails here and here on the original frame and welding those extensions to a 1967 C10 chassis, and ended up putting the body on that, making a lifted thing. Somebody's ripping. Sounds like a single. Anyway, so I made a mud truck out of a Grand Prix. If you go back in history in the channel here, you will come across that, and also come across this car as the original form way back when. Obviously, if I was a smarter mongoloid back then, I wouldn't have done this to this car, because Grand Prix are they're not as common as every other G-body out there, let's face it. So, yeah. So after it was a mud truck for a few years, it got kind of tiring, because it handled like shit, it rode like shit, things were falling apart on it. It was done really piss poor. I didn't have any skills as like a fabricator back then, so it was really bad. So like the frame rail was just like broken. Shit was fucked up. I crashed it. I broke the leaf springs on it, welded them back. But anyway, so got tired of that, pulled the body back off, scrapped the chassis. Well, I still have it, but you know, it's all twisted up and bent and broken and shitty. So body ended up on a pallet for another few years, and then I ended up getting an 84 Monte Carlo donated to me that had a pretty rotten body. And I'm not a big fan of Montes to begin with, because everybody and their fucking cousin has one. So yeah, I decided to yank the body off that, because the frame was brand new. I mean, this thing is cherry. This frame is fucking nice. Nice frame for what it is, for being an 84, and I don't know where it came from, so, you know, I can only assume, being the Northeast here, it probably came from around here, which, you know, having a decent frame was a plus. So, ended up putting this body back on it with a bunch of stuff. Got a really nice built motor, I'll show you that in a second. It's a 357 small block Chevy, so that'll be a 40 over. Go for the interior first. It's red, but it has bluish green interior, I get it. I'm swapping the door cards and the carpet out for some burgundy, and also the steering wheel will be swapped out to the same style, but a burgundy wheel. I'm just going to paint the column black and put some rear seats in it that are burgundy. The rear cards, all of that shit's going to be all burgundy. So it's all red on red. I think it'll look a lot better. The seats are going to stay black in the front just because I don't feel like changing them, and they already got covers. So anyway, let's get to the motor, because that's the important part. I just put these little chrome pieces on so I don't scratch my paint, because it's nice and fresh. Alright, so here be the motor. Like I said, it's 357 small block Chevy, 40 over. What's it got? Edelbrock heads, 62cc. It's got flat tops on it, forged. It's got eagle rods. What do we got? Full floaters, fancy things. Was 4340 crank. It's all fucking rotating, all done up. It also has a mechanical flat tappet cam with hydraulic lifters. What is the specs on it? It's a 543 and 563 exhaust with like 270 duration. So I think with the hydraulic lifters, it's closing in on 600 and 300. That's fucking big for a small block, if you ask me. It revs to the fucking moon. It will only run on 36 degrees timing. So that's how I know it's a monster. What else? It's got a 600 CFM carburetor. It's probably a little small for the cam, but it does seem to run really good, and I'm not gonna fuck with that. I did just install some line lock today, so I do want to see if we can get some good rollers. Well, not rollers, but get a good peel in, and I might put it on the small tire, because I want to keep these tires around, even though they're no good. They're slicks, they are big tire, and they do hold air for a while, so I think I might want to keep them around. So I'm going to put on a small tire. I will fire it up and let you hear it. It is going to be a cold start, because I just rolled it out back here, so we'll see what happens. Well, let me actually turn the switchy on. It's got 3-inch exhaust with IMCO chambered mufflers, mid-length headers, and like 3.5-inch tip. Hopefully it stays running. It is a little cold-blooded. Wah. Like I said, it's cold-blooded as fuck. It's got a massive cam in it, so cold running, just water. That's what you're gonna get, full exhaust. So anyway, now that you heard it, I think I'm gonna roll this thing up and over to the garage and throw on a small tire. Then we can try out this thingy. my line lock, it's hooked up there. Oh yeah, it's got a turbo 350 in it with a 3500 stall. It's an original turbo 350. It's never been opened up, so it's probably going to explode eventually. But yeah, we're gonna do our thing. All right, I'm not sure where we left off, but we got the small tire on. And I actually was having issues with this thing staying running, so I think she's got some stage fright. Go figure. I don't know what it is. I put fuel in it. It might have just been low. Beats me. Either that or it just needs more heat in the motor, because it is cold-blooded. But we're gonna set you up on the mount and go from there. That's what line lock does, bitch. 36 degrees and that's all we got. And it still's got fucking oil out the wazoozy. Parmigiani. We got on the other side. Just as much Parmigiani. Nice. Those things are almost gone. Got a few more hits in them. We're just gonna keep them. But that motherfucker right there is freaking bam. Straight up bam. How do you fucking like that shit? I might leave the turbo 350 in it if it don't grenade. Now that I got line lock and I know this thing isn't a dog, it's just the rear brakes holding it back. It might be the big tire too, because that's what I was doing. But those lit up good. Oh, I like that. Now it was only second gear. I didn't even bother going to third. I don't think it needs it. You got plenty of RPM to handle. So there's that. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like the noise, leave a like, subscribe, do whatever the hell you want to do. And yeah. So see you on the next one. This thing is bitchin'.